Maria is finally here. Yes. Welcome to Playing the Field, the Bachelor podcast. I'm Ryan Field, the sports anchor for Eyewitness News here in New York City. And when I'm not talking about sports, I'm talking about a different game, the game of love. And joining me now to do that, as always, our Bachelor insiders, our Bachelor friends, Jen Matarese from ABC here in New York, and our Bachelor insider, Gino Sirico, out in Los Angeles, our sister station, KABC. And ladies, we are so happy to have our guest of the hour, the guest of the year, because we've been waiting a long time to talk to this young lady. Maria is here from The Bachelor. Maria, welcome. What's going on? What has life been like since the show? You've been on so many podcasts, and we're glad that you saved the best for last, is what we like to say.
Yeah, I was going to say you saved me the best for last. No, I'm joking. But no, it's been great. It's been fun. There's things that have been happening that I would have never expected. Obviously, yeah, great opportunities to meet people like you guys to, chit chat a little bit. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good.
So I'm going to dive into one of the hard-hitting questions.
Right off the top?
Yeah,
boy.
We're going to go.
We don't ease in on this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's in the news, right? Okay, so Nick Viall, we know that the whole history, you were on a different podcast called Her Daddy, and you made a comment where you're like, oh, maybe he said something to Sydney and it started up the controversy. And then Nick's wife said that you were, quote, delusional. Not so nice there. No. But how do you feel things are with Nick? Are you guys cool? Where is this at?
So, so what happened was, you guys saw the show, and I obviously felt like I was wrongly accused of things. And I remember coming home, and it was before it aired, and I remember being like, I don't know what the hell happened in that house. I don't know what's going to play out, what's going to be shown. I just know that there was a girl in the house that didn't like me very much for reasons that I, to this day, will never understand. But I moved past it. Her and I are great and whatever. But before it aired, I was sent a photo of Nick, who I knew from the past, who used to say, Maria, if you go on, you're going to potentially be a villain. And I remember being like, why villain? Because I didn't know villains were different in the Bachelor world. It doesn't mean that you have to be this evil person to be a villain. It's just kind of like the one with the bigger personality, or the ones, I don't know, that's outspoken. I don't really know. So the girl that was villainizing me in the show was in a photo with him. So at the time I was like, just a quick little oh my God, what the hell is that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Because then, mind you, I don't know how things are going to play out. I don't know what's going to be shown. I don't know how it's going to be perceived. So all I thought in that moment was, did this, was this all a freaking deliberate plan to get me out? I don't know. It was just a joke, and I was just talking about it. But yeah, Nick obviously took that the wrong way. I mean, if he knows he knows me enough to just laugh it off, and knows that if you were really innocent, which I know he is, I'm not trying to sit here and say this was actually a real plan that actually happened, but I would just be like, oh, I can understand where she's coming from and from seeing that, but Maria knows me, and that would never happen. But he obviously got a little offended, and okay, great. But I don't know where we stand now. I haven't spoken to him. I remember the last time we spoke, we were on good terms. That's why I was kind of confused as to why I don't know. Things have been weird. Mm-hmm. But on my end, I congratulate him. He has a beautiful baby, a beautiful wife. I never wanted it to get to this point. Just like I was in the house, I didn't want it to become drama. But you push me up against the wall, I'm going to speak up, and I'm going to, say what I need to say. So that's kind of where I'm at with all of this. But I think we're okay. I think we're good. I forgot the question.
No, that was the question. You don't want there to be a problem, basically.
No.
Yeah.
No problems.
Isn't it interesting though, too, Maria, that the franchise, but he also knows the franchise. Mm-hmm. So he knows that these things happen. I find it interesting that he might be offended by that, if he knows you and knows, that you were joking, that he would be upset by it. Were you surprised by his reaction?
I was very surprised by his reaction. Again, because if you watch the podcast, and that's where I kind of like have the biggest issue with like people like him who will take little clips instead of, watching something in its entirety to really see the context of what I was saying. And I actually spoken very highly of him on that podcast. So for him to be so, I don't know, he compared, or I think it was his wife who compared me to Claire Crawley, like it's a bad thing. I mean, I think she's a woman that goes after what she wants and knows what she wants. So I'll be a Claire Crawley. I have no problem. But they were saying it in such a mean way, like as if I'm like so troubled and I'm hard to work with and blah, blah, blah. It was just a really bad reaction to something I said that was so silly in a podcast that I was shocked. But I mean, I did shut it down in Caitlin's podcast, and I will shut it down again. I have nothing to hide with the Nick situation. Clearly people were speculating that he might have had something to hide since he was, sneakingly, weirdly, like not talking about me, unliking photos, doing weird stuff, behind the scenes. The internet's very smart. Very smart. They know things before you know things. I have no idea. It's a whole different world that I don't want to mess with. So I'd rather speak my truth, shut that down, excuse my language, but shut it down before it gets out of hand. And that's all I was trying to do. But when you're going to now start comparing me to people and like saying that I'm hard to work with and come for my character, that's where we're going to have a problem. And again, when you don't want to mess with someone that has nothing to hide and also not afraid to speak up and will do what you have to do.
Well, listen.
So, yeah.
These are all things that we love about you, but as an outsider listening to this, isn't this kind of a microcosm of you on the show, like being misinterpreted, misrepresented, people misconstrued in their opinions about you? I mean, I feel like this is all kind of tied together. And why does this always seem to happen to you? Because to me, you're very upfront and you say how it is, and people should never misunderstand what you're saying.
I think I make things very clear.
I think so too.
Okay? Thank you. But another thing which I find is so funny, which is also what happened in the house. It's people that I thought were my friends backstabbing me or like doing something to like make me think otherwise. So yeah, it's a full circle moment. I mean, I think the right people get me and I've been on good terms for a long time with, the best of the best. And so I'm not offended if here or there I have problems with people and I'll deal with it. But I think that's just life. I don't know. Some people respect the bluntness or the directness, and some people, I'm just not their cup of tea, and that's okay because there's a lot of people that are my cup of tea. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. I think it's either you get me or you don't, and yeah, it's okay. I shouldn't be. It's not a good thing to be liked by everyone. That means you're not. I mean, what's the saying? It's like if you're liked by everyone, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Or is that the saying? Okay.
Well, I'll follow up that by saying that I think it's refreshing, your bluntness, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Most people don't know how to respond to that because a lot of people in today's day and age aren't very straightforward with what they have to say. And if they are, it kind of comes across wrong and people don't know what to do. And I think that's genuinely what's gone on with you during this entire time we've gotten to know you is like, wow, she's so refreshingly blunt. I think it's great, but other people just don't know how to respond to those situations.
I mean, is there a lack of communication behind the scenes maybe that people don't see or should see where, like he could have reached out, right, and said, like, what did you mean by this or whatever before commenting publicly, Does that not happen? Is it communication through podcasts?
Because then I could have reached out to him when I saw the picture and been like, what the hell? Just to like, but again, I think, you know, he just haven't spoken and out of respect for his wife and his new life, he's married and all. I don't even want, I think, unfortunately, in this world, when you respond publicly, and so I would respect that, and I have no problem. And I think I made that very clear to be like, guys, again, I'm just going to answer the questions that I've been asked on podcasts or whatever, and I have no problem talking about this. But yeah, it sucks that we have to do it publicly and we couldn't just squash it, I guess, whatever. And like, I don't know. I don't know why he took it to the next level of like coming from my character. All I said was like something silly. And then, yeah, I didn't need to blow up this way. But yeah, I think out of respect for his situation going on, there wouldn't be any talking behind the scenes, but, and I get it, but I just wish that if you are going to come out publicly and say something about, something that offended you, you know, choose your words wisely, because, I can respond publicly as well.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But let's squash it now, because I feel like now, all right, we got it. Nick, you're done. It's good. We'll move on to something else. Let's talk about, there were a lot of people who thought that you were going to be the Bachelorette. You've talked about it a little bit before. You know, it was all but certain. You mentioned even at one point that like you were doing fittings. So clear the air a little bit. What was the final thing that you said, all right, I can't do this? What was that moment for you?
I think it was just the way I was feeling. Like I just wasn't excited about it. I wasn't happy. I just, again, going through such a hard time on the show, with drama. Like I lived that, you know, like it wasn't just episode by episode. Like I actually lived that. And when I came home, I was really down, and like, there was points like I was having so much anxiety watching the show back, and then getting this opportunity, I was like, okay, like this is amazing. Like I want to do my family proud. I want to, you know, the people that support me and can see me in that position, I want to do it for them. And like, you know, I just felt so seen and heard that I was like, you know, I owe it to them to give the people what they want. But like, why am I not excited? And why am I not, you know? And then it got to a point where I just felt very alone. And I didn't know if I can go through a process of like completely shutting the world out again for months. Just everything, just, you know, it was just a lot. And so, yeah, I just wasn't mentally ready and prepared. And I just felt like putting that first. I wanted to put my mental health first. I just was feeling bad. I just wasn't in the right headspace. And so, respect is knowing that, you know, other people could be better for this position. Yeah, I know that's how I was thinking, maybe not what the world would want to hear, but unfortunately, like, that is where my mind was at the time. And yeah, it was the moment where I realized like I'm not happy, and I'm not, I can't fake it. And that was another big thing. I'm like, I wish I could fake this stuff. I wish I can be there, you know, just do it to do it, but I couldn't. I had to be honest with myself.
Well, your honesty is refreshing, and we were all hoping here, the three of us on this podcast, that you were going to be the next Bachelorette. I guess, what if they had waited a year to ask you, and if more time had passed, would things have been different in terms of your approach and your mindset in regards to being the Bachelorette? And do you have any regrets now that you turned it down, knowing that Jen is there and filming just wrapped on her season?
If I'm single in a year or in a whatever, and they gave me time to like really, you know, regroup, and I can get things back to normal, yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't I? Because I believe in the process. I believe it works. And so I would be stupid not to do it if I was fully ready to be committed to it. Do I regret saying no at the time? Absolutely not. 100% no, actually. I think Jen is the perfect Bachelorette for right now. There's representation. She's ready. She's committed. Like, she's a great woman. She's well-rounded. Like, I support Jen being the Bachelorette right now. But yeah, in the future, if I was single, hell yeah, why wouldn't I? But again, I would need to be ready, because I'm not trying to waste anyone's time, because I know what we got to do to get on the show. And it's a lot of work. And it's a lot to kind of commit to. So, again, I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I want to be respectful to the other people on the show as well.
So are you ready to date right now? Are you going on dates? Like, what's your mindset with that?
You know.
Yeah. No, we don't know. Tell
us, please.
Neither do I. I don't know either. No, honestly, yeah, I am ready to date. And I've met, you know, a few good people along the way, and, you know, I'm taking things slow because, you know, I'm not the type of person that just wants a relationship to be in a relationship. I'll stay single. Like, if it's not right, it's not right. I don't settle for anything. I don't just jump into something. Yeah, I'm going to be 30 soon, and I probably should get to step in. But yeah, when I know, and when I meet that person, I'll know. I'm being more open to it, trying to put myself out there, go out a little bit more than I would normally. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I'm ready and I'm open. So yeah. Yeah.
Gentlemen, her DMs are open. Please approach her.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Commence DM sending.
Sorry?
Commence sliding into DMs, to Gina's point. Away we go.
Oh God, yeah, I know at this point, like, I hate social media and I hate that aspect of things, but that's just the way we got to live this for now. I'm not on dating apps, though. I refuse.
Good for you.
I refuse. I'm scared. I'm going to feel like I'm going to be the one girl that ends up getting killed on a dating app. I watch too many horror films. I'm just going to be the one. I just know it. The one time I get an app, it's over. Okay, so no.
So you like to meet guys in the wild? Like out in the world?
I want to meet someone like organically. I just want to, I said this on the podcast. I'm like, I'll go to a bookstore even though I'm not the biggest reader, and I'll just be there to like bump into a guy. You know how it works in the movies. I don't know where else. Like,
Gina, Marshalls maybe?
Oh. So we had Susan on. We had Susan on a couple of weeks ago, and she said she met a guy like in the Marshalls.
At Marshalls?
Yeah.
And they've been going on dates.
They've been going on dates.
In the lamp section, I think she said.
The lamp section?
Yeah.
The lamp.
Where you least suspect
the
it.
lamp.
Lamp, yes.
That's beautiful. Oh my God. So like
let there be light.
Yeah. I would like a movie moment for when I meet the man of my dreams. That would be ideal.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that like it doesn't always end up that way.
No,
so tell me, what's the guy? What is the ideal guy for you? What's on the must list?
I think I'm all about personality. I've never had a type. Looks were never. I mean, you ask my friends, they don't think I'm into lookers, as they say. Just a good personality, and someone who can make me laugh, someone who's family oriented, confident but not cocky, and like kind of lets me take the reins on some stuff. I feel like because I have such a big personality, I used to think I wanted someone with a big personality, but I think I just need someone confident and more quiet maybe, because we'll clash and we'll be like annoying. So but I think a good personality wins me every time over anything else.
How about, and this is me as an American guy asking this question, do you like American guys, and what's the biggest difference between dating a Canadian guy and dating an American guy?
Wow, good question. I mean, I before the show and after the show, I have been talking to American boys, always from New York. But so the difference, maybe more like free-spirited.
Who?
More like American boys.
Gotcha.
More like they have like the travel bug. Like they're very like adventurous, I feel like.
I've been dying to go to Toronto, which is funny you mentioned that.
Really? Come to Toronto. It's fine. I'll take you out. Let's go. Well, we can be each other's wingmen.
Molson Canadians on you. Sounds great.
Yes, 100%. I got you. But yeah, no, I don't know much of a difference. But your question was, do I date American boys, and what's the difference?
Yeah, but the biggest difference between, and do you have a preference of one or the other now that you've, like you said, been talking to some American guys, and you obviously had been dating Canadian guys growing up? One or two here. But I sound so boring. No. But I've only ever had like 1-2-ish boyfriends. Like, I'm 30. It's fine. It's okay. But I date. I'll just date. I feel like home is where the heart is. So if I meet a guy in New York and whatever, that will become my home. I'm open to meeting a guy anywhere, as long as he makes me happy. So love that.
So, do you have aspirations at all for television or other reality shows, things like that? You've made the rounds of a lot of different podcasts, and that seems like fun, but where do you go from here? What are you looking to do?
So, I wish I could talk about it.
Oh,
but
there's something.
Yeah, I promise you there's things that are in the works, and I'm so grateful for. It's even to just be considered for certain things. But that's the most I'll say. And I hope that when it happens, I can come back and we can be happy for all of us together, or for me.
Mhm.
But there are things I'm looking forward to in that realm of things. But I don't talk about, literally, I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm trying to keep it out of sight, out of mind until it's brought to fruition. And I think but so to answer your question, there's many things that I'd like to do, and some of which that are actually coming true, and the fact that like going on this reality show is bringing these opportunities for me is just insane. I never thought that I would even, I don't know. There are things that could potentially be happening that we could be excited about. So yeah.
That's awesome. Me intrigued, because now I'm like, I'm gonna have to start digging and see if I can find out any information. No, I'm only kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. One thing you said earlier is you said you described yourself as boring, and I will say, out of everything, that is the one word that I would never describe you as. Ever.
I know.
Ever.
I would like to be boring sometimes.
It's not as fun. I'm just gonna say, as someone who's a little boring, it's not as fun.
You boring? I don't
think
so.
Not quite as exciting as you. We'll just put it.
I don't know what it is. Like, I think, on the show, I mentioned that I was an introvert, and the world was like, absolutely not. And I'm like, but I am. Like, I enjoy, I need to recharge too. I love being alone. I love just putting on my movies. I'm a big movie buff. Like, I enjoy just being at home alone. And that's, I think, been a problem with like the whole going back to the dating stuff. It's like, I don't put myself out there enough to like really meet people, because I'm always wanting to just be at home alone, like, or with my friends, having a glass of wine, watching a movie, like very simple and boring. But I like it,
Well,
absolutely. But I think that's the thing. Like that, like you have to have a little bit, like it's balanced. You have to have a little bit of both.
Balance. Yep. Mm-hmm.
One question I've been really wanting to ask you, and one of my favorite parts of this season with Joey was your dad. And so much talk about Kelsey's dad, Mark, as being the star of the show. I thought your dad was the star of the show, somewhere between like a guitarist for Kiss / The Godfather. Just had this whole vibe. What has life been like for him since the show? I imagine your dad, and did he like kind of being basically the star of that episode? Did he really warm up to that?
My dad has always been memorable. No matter where we went, people would always think he's someone, think he knows him from somewhere. Like I remember in Vegas too, we went to Vegas once, and people were asking him for photos. This is well before The Bachelor, and they just thought he was some rock star they needed to take a photo with. Like, my dad has always kind of like had that, going for him. So I knew he was going to be a hit on the show. He's so like, people think, again, maybe this is just a thing in my family where they think we're a lot like more out there than we are. My dad's a shy guy. So even now from the show, he gets so much attention. It's crazy. Like he just things like he doesn't understand. And it's been great for him. He loved the show. He loved being a part of it. Thank you for saying that about my dad, even though I do love Mark. But yeah, my dad, did the best that he can. And like, that was one thing I was really worried about, because I didn't know how they were going to do with the cameras, because it's so overwhelming. And at least I've had weeks up until that point of like, knowing how the cameras are and how I can feel. And like, at that point, I just forget that they're there. But for them, I was like, I hope he's not going to like, I don't know how he's going to act, but he did such a good job.
He crushed it.
Yeah, and you know what though? Like it truly, you guys got to see exactly who he is as a man, and I knew he was going to accept Joey and see, and again, like I just wanted him to see how happy I was in the moment. But truly, like he was totally himself and so comfortable. I was surprised. But again, he's been so grateful. And when people go up to him, he'll FaceTime me. It's so funny. Every time I get a FaceTime from my dad, I'm like, oh, he's with people and I have to say hi to them. But I love it. And he loves it. And he's so like, grateful as well. And it's been great. And I'm happy that when people love my dad, if anyone goes against my dad, there's going to be big problems. Big problems. I'm tougher than my dad. So it's funny, like they put the music in the back for him to look like a boss man over there. But I take care of business if anyone goes against the family. So yeah, I'm just very happy that he had fun with it and he's still continuing to have fun with it. So yeah.
That's so sweet. You can tell, like, you could just feel the love between
absolutely.
you guys. And even now you just light up when you talk about him, and it's great.
I love that man.
Also, love of your new friends maybe on the show. We've seen you out and about with some of the ladies from the season at were you out with someone at the music event? Stagecoach?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So do you have any future plans to meet up with any Bachelor Nation people that we might be spotting on your Instagram?
Let me think. Oh my God, guys, Stagecoach is crazy though. Like,
absolutely.
That, like, know great. Who you are. That threw me for a loop. The fact that like Lana Del Rey is just at a party with us and she like knows who we are. It's insane. And then Emma Roberts literally grabbing me, being like, bitch, why were you Bachelorette? Just like,
wow.
But who am I? Well, anyone from Bachelor Nation?
Yeah.
Anybody you're especially close with?
Oh, the sisters from my show. I love Charity. When her and I are together, it is trouble. We had a night at Jason's book release party. We had a night. And I met a lot of Bachelor Nation there as well, who like I remain close with. I'm gonna be in New York tomorrow. Friday, I'm meeting up with Greer. She was also a past contestant on the show.
Yes.
But yeah, I've made friends with a lot of people from the show past seasons. So some of which I've never met. Actually, Rachel Kirkconnell, I'm supposed to have dinner with. So, planning. But yeah, so there's like a bunch of Bachelor alum that I'm like, oh, I love them all. Let's hang out. One big happy family, no drama.
That is kind of what Bachelor Nation is like. Like once you're in the fold, you're in the fold, right? You know?
And you would think it'd be good because like this is like the perfect dating pool, you know? Like there's a bunch of Bachelor guys that like know exactly what you went through, but then you're like, no, I got to stay out of this world. I can be in it with the girls, like, girlfriends, but guys, it becomes too messy. It's like a high school.
That's also very true. Do you so you don't have your eye, like has been there anybody like that kind of like caught your eye that nobody, none of those guys? Fair enough.
I'm like shy not to laugh, but
it's all good.
No. There's been a lot of great men that I've met that are like, there's so many of the Bachelor guys, like Jason, who's like so smart. And I'm going to be on his podcast at some point. I loved like meeting him. Like he's actually, when you talk to him, you learn something, Mm-hmm. And then there's like Tyler Cameron that everyone was like shipping me with. I met him at Stagecoach, but again, no, nothing there. It's just like, fun friends that know the world that brought you to this world, or brought you to this point in your life. We all get it. It's like, we're all bonded together.
Absolutely. One big happy family. And listen, for all of us, I can honestly say that we are happy that you're part of Bachelor Nation. And it's been refreshing to have you on the show and to finally hear your side of the story on things. We've been looking forward to this. Before we let you go, I know you can't tell us about the news. Can you tell us when we will find out about the news? Any sort of timeline when we can expect this big Maria news to drop?
Oh, to drop?
Yeah, when will we find out? Thinking.
I'm going to say you'll hear the news. You'll hear it probably, and I don't know, I'm scared to say, let's just say for my birthday. Figure out when my birthday is.
Googling when her birthday is.
All right.
What's your sign?
All right. I'm a Virgo.
All right, there's your hint. Well, we can't thank you.
By the way, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, I remember meeting you and Gina?
Gina,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Gina. And you gave me the popcorn.
Yes.
And I ate the popcorn. It was really good. So thank you for that. You helped our Oscar night.
Look, that is the important thing. So you guys know, when I was at Women Tell All, we have some on the red carpet microwave popcorn, and so I gave it to all the ladies. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you enjoyed.
Yeah,
it's important to have snacks.
Yes, I agree. So thank you for that. But I just wanted to let you know, I remember us meeting that night, that wild night.
Crazy, crazy.
We saved the best little nugget for the last part of the show. Gina bringing snacks and making sure everybody's not hangry.
It's the mom in me, although I'm not a mom.
Oh, well, it's okay. I feel like I'm the mom of my group, too.
There you go.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Maria. We can't thank you for coming on the show, and we hope we can talk to you real soon when your news drops. And absolutely, we are excited for what's ahead for you. And best of luck the rest of the way, and we'll hopefully talk to you again soon.
Oh, thank you guys. So
Thanks,
nice talking to
Maria.
you guys.
You know, Gina, to your credit, you warned us. You said she's a talker. I think we could have asked her one question to start the show, and she just could have filled that entire 30 minutes by herself. And we love that. She was great.
I do love that about her. I think, you know, like she has said it before. She's kind of no holds barred. And, you know, she shoots from the hip. She's blunt, and, you know, she'll talk. And I love that, you know, she was able to just chat about everything and anything, and like nothing's off the table.
She thought about her answers. They weren't like canned, you know, as they say.
Absolutely.
Like there was a lot of thought that she had that went into it, and we learned some new interesting things, which was great.
And I think some of that, and I think you both will agree, some of her being guarded and maybe really thinking about those answers to the questions kind of goes back to my point to her, how she's so, I think, misunderstood, and people kind of, I don't know if people are rubbed the wrong way by her, but I feel like she has to be very careful what she says, almost like she's walking on eggshells these days with everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, she did give us what we came for.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
I mean?
We got our money's worth.
Yeah, she was wonderful. She's so kind and sweet. And, you know, it's exciting that she's got some things happening
In the hopper.
Yeah.
And Gina, you're going to find out first, apparently.
You're
She's
like,
coming out to
Look,
LA.
I'm going to try. You know, we'll see.
Make it happen.
We'll see.
Do we have any guesses on what it might be?
Not one bit. I mean, it could be anything, to be honest. I mean, look, did we ever think we were going to see Joey on a 911 episode?
No, that's a good
but
point.
It happened. And, you know, it's great. So I think, you know, look, I think that she's one of those personalities that, and I think this is what fans appreciate and why they are so rabid and ride so hard for her, is that she is no holds barred.
Yeah.
She will tell you like it is, tell it like it is. She's accessible, and I think that I think it's going to be really interesting to see where she goes from here.
Well, we're going to be cheering her on wherever she ends up, and it was great to finally have her on the pod. Thanks to our friends behind the scenes for making this interview happen. We look forward to Jen coming up because we have the Golden Bachelor, or not, she's going to kill me for saying that. We have the Bachelorette coming up on July 8th, that premiere of that season, and we know that Joan is going to be the new Golden Bachelorette, so a couple of good guests here still to come, Jen.
Yes, two bachelorettes.
Two bachelorettes.
Yeah. So great.
Just to be clear, Jen is not the Golden Bachelorette, just so we clear that up. But we are looking forward to having both of those ladies on Playing the Field. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. We love the feedback, both online, in the DMs, all the stuff. Everybody loving the show. We can't thank you enough for your support. And we are looking forward to being back here with another episode here real soon. So for Gina and Jen and Maria, I'm Ryan. This has been another episode of Playing the Field.